The markets are falling. Bitcoin can't keep its head above 50K. Well, it's going to be a tough battle at this level. It's a whale's game. But in the meantime, we can do what Chico does best and research some altcoins. Some of the more unknown ones, like Lowcap. You're ready for Chico's altcoin mysteries? Well, you don't have a choice because it's time for Chico Crypto. Altcoins, alt season, DeFi, layer 2, NFTs, it's becoming a lot to handle. Thousands upon thousands of altcoins, all claiming to be the next big thing. But a vast majority of them won't even make a little dent in gaining a sustainable user base, unless they're doing something different, combining an altcoin, DeFi, layer 2, or NFTs together to create something never done before that benefits the users. What altcoins could be doing something like that? Well, today Chico is doing something a tad bit different. We're going down into the depths of the altcoins, a place where there are many fish in the barrel, and finding a winner is like shooting a golden bullet into that barrel. You might get lucky, but the majority of the time you won't find one. You'll be unlucky. But I like to think my research is a tad bit better than the others in the space. But even with my years of research, there is still major risk with microcaps. That is why I never risk a significant amount into these. Always keep it small and expect to lose an investment. Microcaps get micro investments from me. If I lose it all, it doesn't kill, and if it's a winner shooting up in the market cap rankings, you still get a sizable piece of the winning pie. So let's begin with the highest market cap altcoin of around 50 million, and it's on page 4 of CoinGecko, with lots of room to grow in my opinion, as you need at least $150 million market cap to be on page 2 of the Gecko, and I think this project deserves to be up there. Who am I talking about? That sticky bun BAO, and the hype has settled down for BAO. It had a stellar release, going from a super small microcap in the single millions to peaking at over 100 million. I said during that hype when it was smashing towards that number, it would eventually settle down as it was like perpetual protocol. It had a great layer 2 idea, it just needed to execute that idea to the layer before that famed 100 million mark would be crossed. And BAO is executing. The XDAI pools are deployed. A few minor bugs, but as we can see from the BAO man's mouth, block rewards were pushed back one more day, but the farms are working and stable. Users' deposits can start now. Yeah, the crops are ready to be farmed on XDAI. They are moving exactly as planned, and the movement isn't only being seen by me. You guys should know BAO is within the sushi ecosystem, confirmed to be a project secured in their ambitious 2021 roadmap. Well, if you remember the sushi drama over the summer of last year in September, the project almost failed. But guess who snuck in to save the day? FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. So FTX and sushi are connected, and this proves it even more. Sam noticed BAO yesterday. He tweeted that a bunch more coins were added to the FTX exchange as collateral for spot trading. Included, of course, is BAO. BAO connected to sushi. Sushi connected to both Yearn and FTX. They are planning something special, and let me tell you, the foundation is set for a sushi-supported synthetics protocol on layer 2. And all I can say is, bow chicka wow wow. But what about doing that right now, trading of synthetics on XDAI's layer 2? Well, that leads us into the next pick, which is just a $15 million market cap. That is Deus Finance. Major news, Deus is officially launching its decentralized trading platform in the next 48 hours. You will be able to trade hundreds of stocks, forex, and selected cryptos on XDAI without time restriction. That was 48 hours ago, so that should be launching today, getting synthy with it on layer 2. I shot this video yesterday, so the synthetics version of their app was under maintenance. But as we can see, TVL is almost 40 million, and I wouldn't doubt TVL will grow with the launch of a scalable synthetics platform, as they have been trading pre-SpaceX IPO synthetics already for some time. Hopefully the full go live runs smooth for the other synthetics. And now we get to the bottom of the altcoin barrel, I guess you could say, the True Microcap, the one that isn't even in the top 1,000 on CoinGecko. Now I wanted to cover this one yesterday with my NFT video, but I was unsure and I needed to do more research. I wish I could have done more then because the coin was over 300% even when I made my first purchase. And what token is that? It's NFY non-fungible Yearn. And as of yesterday, it was ranked 1,252 on CoinGecko and up oh so significantly. Why would I take a small dive into a coin that is up so much? Well, it's still under a $2 million market cap, and it's doing what Chico likes, taking NFTs and applying it to DeFi. Going to the website and application, they say they are the first DeFi protocol to utilize NFTs to make yield farming more secure and flexible by protecting the wallet and allowing the first transferable stake. A transferable stake. So what this does is create an ecosystem where instead of wallet addresses that represents the right to a stake, an NFT will represent the right to the stake funds and the yield they generate. You'll be able to trade your stake tokens and future yield via an NFT. Basically, it turns yield-bearing DeFi liquidity pools into NFTs, which creates so many possibilities, like pre-baked and ready-to-go yield farming NFTs for the person who doesn't know anything about it or wants to farm themselves, yield-bearing gaming NFTs, art pieces that earn yield, and so much more I can't even think of. You are giving NFTs underlying value, defying the masses. And this isn't a promise, it's live and has been since January 7th in its current form. The application is ready to go, the staking and unstaking with NFTs, and the DEX for trading the tokenized stake as NFTs. So who exactly is behind NFY, non-fungible Yearn? Well, I want to go to this Twitter profile, not Sayoti. They were the one who tipped me off on NFY yesterday through research on Twitter. Yes, I use Twitter for some of my research. They tweeted this in a reply to a FOMOsaurus posting this meme about yield-bearing NFTs. They said, you know, I'm bringing at NFY Finance along with our relationship through Olympus. At Jeff Extor is on board, and he invented NFT yield-earning bonds. NFY was literally the first to do this. So the dev is public. It's Jeff Extor who was the first person to create these yield-bearing NFTs with NFY. And going to his LinkedIn, he is a Solidity dev from the greater Philadelphia area. Public developer is a good sign as there is accountability if something goes wrong. Good signs, and the hype is strong with this one as it has first mover advantage. But I want to go to this tweet from another NFY researcher on Twitter, Brian Beach. They said, all this buzz around NFTs and NFY needs to pamp. You can stake and trade NFY and you can trade stake as an NFT. Governance contract is releasing next week and the contract for project integration is set for mid-March. Whoa, so next week a governance contract and mid-March the project integration contract so it can be spread throughout DeFi? Can we confirm that? Kind of. Going to their Discord, there is their developer, Jeff Extor, and he said this February 17th. Governance contract is planned to be deployed early next week. Contract that allows for project integration is in the works and planned for mid-March. And then he said this the next week, just last week. Governance is coming soon. There have been some delays and had to get pushed back. So, major roadmap stops this month. And they have the first mover advantage already deployed with the tools to create many types of yield-bearing NFTs, but also a DEX for trading those. So in my opinion, this could be a recipe for microcap success. And even with the recent surge, Chico had to take a small risk with NFY. Like every microcap we get into, a small risk. The same went with BAO, the same goes with Deus, and the same goes with NFY. Microcaps get micro investments. Cheers, I'll see you next time.